Laureates are Zaria Usman, Alexander Ishu, and Paula Mendez Sordilla. And let's, as usual, listen to their stories.
Human, Not Strangers by Alexander Shu. We're moving away, said Dad to me the day when things began to change. I knew one day I'd move to somewhere new. Where to? I asked. The answer was irrelevant. As we flew, I saw people around me in the plane. Some left when we landed in Arabia, and the others stayed with us. Some asked where I was from. We talked, a touching dialogue between strangers. Some of the passengers were like me. They were going to their new home, as a bird does to change their nest, find the place where they would go back to be safe. When we landed on the island, there were people new to me. I didn't speak their languages, or know the names of their clothes. The carpet smelled soft and elegant, and the air was warm and humid. The sky I flew in was above, night standing still. Our home was white, just as our last one. I like it because it is almost the same shape, a sugar cube shape. It was sweet to have a new place to live. I started school and I made new friends. Friends from Europe I never had, or from the Middle East either, or from South Asia. I thought it nice to meet new people. Where are you from? I would ask. Not from here, they'd reply. Where is your home? It is now here. I lived through the summer in the Gulf. The ocean I saw was green and warm. The dunes of sand, the air parched. The sun shone, golden and bright, filling the world with its light. People I met, they talked gently with their words, not to hurt, just to talk. I thought only birds were able to migrate through the air and over the land. They seemed to be good at it, soaring and landing, then tending to their young, sitting on telephone lines and huddling in the rain, harmonious always. But from here, in the kingdom, it seems that birds are everywhere, not just on the top of my sugar cube house, or in the palm trees. The family who saw me confused at the eatery and bought me the food I didn't know the man at the cloth store who shared his story of home, the teacher at school who shared the pomegranates with me as she taught me the new language. My teacher, she says we're all human, and I love those words. We are all human. They tell me that maybe, hopefully, I'm not too lost to be scared of everyone. They're all like me anyways. So in the future, in the world, I won't be scared to meet people. I won't know their names, I won't know their customs, who they love and who they've lost, the ones they left behind. I'll know they're human though, and I'll hold the hope that they'll see me as human too, a hope given by strangers. Thank you.
When I was 9, I found an old teddy bear lying on the side of the road. It was small, about the size of my palm, and had stuffing falling out from every end. But to me, it was a dream. The people of my village gave me side eyes and frowned at the sight of me holding the bear. But it wasn't the thievery that bothered them. It was the young girl in a school uniform. They asked Baba, "Why waste your money like this, Khalid?" But Baba frowned and told me to walk ahead. Education was very important to him. He would sit us down and paint a picture of the future he saw for us in every letter we wrote, in every equation we solved. Once upon a time in my future there was light, there were dreams, and there was change. In my pockets were pennies, in my house love. The walls of the kitchen and the bedroom were no longer my confines. Lying on the shelves were rows of books with words I could read, records of music I could understand, and paintings with colors I adored. However, today, as I sit in Mayu, there are still plenty of colors scattered all over the room. The red hues of the mehndi my khala applies to my hands, gold of the bangles that handcuff my wrists, and the white jasmine's arrangement lying in the center. Women from all over the village sit in a circle playing the tolki, dressed in gowns reflecting the light from the extravagant chandeliers hung on the ceiling. My uncle spared no expense when it came to decorations, jewelries, and outfit, which was ironic because apparently he had no other financial option but to marry off his 15-year-old niece, who was declared his responsibility after the tragic death of his sister and brother-in-law. But it was a matter of izzat, he would say. We didn't want anyone saying he cheapened out. Izzat, what a funny word, so delicately placed on the shoulders of every woman in this society, getting heavier as she grows older, yet somehow more fragile. The tiniest gush of wind tearing it to pieces. Honor, reputation, prestige, izzat. Maybe one day I'll live in a village where honor is shred through marrying a girl 23 years younger than you, and reputation by selling off your only daughter because there was no other solution for your poverty-stricken family. Maybe, just maybe, one day I'll live in a world where the birth of a girl isn't followed by a sigh or a cello next time. On that day, we'll hand over crayons to our young girls and watch them color our world. We'll tell them, deepen the blue of the sky by flying planes through them, paint the grass greener with every football match you play, and leave traces of silver from the stethoscope around your neck. Take any other color on this palette you need and draw rainbows upon rainbows until they're enough to build a bridge to your dreams. Kabul hai, but not today.
Once upon a time in my future, I realize that time has passed me by, and that I can no longer count with my fingers the years since you passed away. All in all, though, I'm sure you'd be glad to know of the many ways the world has changed for the better since you last lived in it. If you were here, I would lead you by the hand to the window of our home and prompt you to look outside. I'd point out the green spaces that have been created in the neighborhood, the lack of litter in the streets, the random, small acts of kindness between the members of our community. And in spite of you looking pleased at the sight, it will only take me a few seconds to come to a realization. If I wanted you to understand the full transformation undergone by the world since you left, I'd have to show it all to you in the best way I knew how, with my words. And so I would begin telling you about how our nation's government renewed its commitment to the social inclusion of indigenous people by promoting the enforcement of both local and federal policies aimed at protecting their rights and dignity. I then go on describing how the joy this event brought to our family intensified into elation when we realized what had set it all into motion. That is, the international community banding together to push for the end of the discrimination and violence long suffered by indigenous people throughout the world. It was around the time that I made the choice to get involved and lobby for change myself, and what an age of change it was. Technologies that increased the access to safe, sanitized water were implemented all over the globe, thereby improving the quality of life of millions of citizens. Laws that underscored the importance of fighting climate change by reducing each country's carbon emissions were established, and, most importantly, respected. I explained all of this to you before rather joyfully making the announcement that even now, wars are almost a thing of the past, with most countries having learned to recognize the great benefits that come with peace. I imagine you'd react with great surprise and delight to the news, and yet a hint of disappointment would remain in the crinkles around your eyes. And suddenly, it would hit me. I'd take your hand again, and together we'd walk up the stairs, step by step, until we arrived at the front of my old bedroom door. Inside, we'd find the one thing that you'd have wanted to see the entire time. Inside, we'd find the granddaughter you never got the chance to meet. She's a true citizen of the world, much less concerned about national borders than about humanity as a whole. She's a glimpse of the beautiful future of our civilization. And Mom, she looks just like you.
Oh, thank you for those incredibly moving stories. I love the hope in them. It's really cheering me up here. Now, do you want to know the order of the winners? You're all going to win prizes, but do you want to know the order of the winners? Yes. Let's have Safia tell us who has won what medal.
In the 18-year-olds category, bronze goes to Paulo Mendez Sordia of Mexico for If You Were Here. Silver goes to Alexander Shu of Bahrain for Human Not Strangers. And gold goes to Zaria Usman of the United Arab Emirates for Colours of Misfortune. Congratulations.
Oh, well done to all three of you. I know it's a terrific achievement for every single one of you kids here today. And we have one more treat in store because one participant didn't enter a short story to our short story competition. Alice O'Mahony entered a